It also, since it was rounded, it was way more complicated to produce. So this is a way more efficient product construction and design. And also, it also had a shock trap similar to the Panther between the turret, the lower part of the turret, and the hull, which is also gone here, as you can see. So this is the regular, this is the production turret. The pre-production turret, which is sometimes referred Porsche turret, is not really a Porsche turret. To quote, 50 turrets originally fabricated by Krupp for the cancelled VK45.02P were modified, fitted with hydraulic drives and mounted on the first 50 VK45.03 chassis from Henschel. Krupp also designed the Serienturm that was mounted on all subsequent Henschel chassis, starting with the 51st VK45.03. Let us look at the mobility of the Königssieger. Now, it has the same engine as the Tiger 1 and the Panther, so you would expect it would be a really lame cat. But actually, the top speed is rather similar to that of the Tiger, about 35 kilometers per hour. Now, when you look at the horsepower to weight ratio, it has about 10 horsepower per metric ton. In comparison, the IS-2 has 11.3, so also the difference is not that major. And overall, it was not a lame cat as one might suspect. Now, the range on the road was 170 kilometers. For cross country it was 120, which is the same for the IS-2, although the IS-2 without external fuel tanks. With external fuel tanks, it reached 170 kilometers. Now, when we look at the range, it has a range of 120 kilometers, which is the same for the IS-2 without its external fuel tanks. With its external fuel tanks, the IS-2 reached 185 kilometers. Again, rather average values. So when you look at it, it's a heavy tank. It's not gonna be very fast or very maneuverable, but if you compare it with other heavy tanks, it's about there. It's definitely not the winner, but it's not far off. So calling it a lame cat is probably not appropriate.
Let's keep at 17.
When we talk about
41.
mobility, we also need to take a look at systems broke, so various parts like the lever and various elements for it. Additionally, 4 sprocket wheels were damaged, 6 gearboxes got shifting delays, 1 engine got water in a cylinder, and 1 a damaged fuel tank. Of course, another aspect at this point in the war we need to consider is the training of the driver. And this was very important because some of these problems could be accounted for if there was proper training. Then again, training had to be reduced and was generally done on rather light tanks to conserve fuel, but also because there was not enough material around at this point. Now, we also have a report from the Soviets that captured 2 King Tigers around August of 1944. Let's look at the quote. The delivery of the 2 German tanks to Kubinka turned into an adventure. The tanks first crossed the Vistula, then drove on their own to the embarkation point. Issues with the running gear, engine and transmission began to crop up. The engine and gearbox kept overheating in the 30-degree weather. Breakdowns of the idler, drive sprocket and final drives were common. The tracks broke often and the track tensioning mechanism worked poorly. As a result, it took almost a month to ship the tanks. Now, this sounds terrible, but we need to take a step back here and be very careful and think about what we read and the circumstances. So this was a tank, or 2 tanks captured by the Soviets. Now, in my T-34 in German service video, for this I read a report that was reprinted by Fallout, and it was basically that the German commander, or whoever wrote the experience report, noted we broke most of our T-34s because our crew didn't know how to handle this tank.
Huh.
This could have been the same here, because the Germans also had to train their crew specifically how to drive the King Tiger or another vehicle as well. For instance, for the Hummel, when the Hummel was brought to a unit, the commander complained that during, I think, debarkation from the railways, a lot of Hummels were basically damaged by bad driving, And then he noted, oh, and by the way, I found out there's a pamphlet out there how to properly drive this vehicle. It would be cool if we get a copy. So very likely a lot of these damages might have been avoided if the crews were properly trained or not. We cannot know, but a German report basically, about the T-34 notes, I think it was 8 out of 10, 8 out of 9 vehicles were basically damaged because our drivers didn't know how to handle a T-34. So this is always the issue. You need to take into account the various sources, be critical about it, because one statement could be, well, because some people just didn't know better. And it might not be in any way, because some people go, oh, well, it's malicious, they basically said something bad because they were from the opponent side. Well, not necessarily. Could be, must also be accounted for, but it could be just they were incompetent. But then again, at other points, the Germans were also incompetent, for instance, with with their own vehicles. Information back then, keep in mind, no smartphones, no internet, nothing. I mean, there was one artillery unit that was renamed, and they found out months later that they were actually renamed. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let us.
So, as for example, which I stated and restated and restated and restated, you got a BMW, a Ferrari, Lamborghini. You got whatever you can think. Oh, it's the best, it's the best. Oh, maybe it's not the best even for that guy who sell it, because that guy who sell it try to sell you whatever you give money, or sound good. Oh, it has that gun on that. But even if you take that object, not that car, that tank, to use, and not like a hobby, to use, to battle with it, to hunt with it, maybe you've got some problems. But if you take into consideration that a lot of guys have powerful cars, performant cars, luxury cars, but as that dude there, they don't know to drive. They take all the potholes, like me, but I drive very occasionally bicycle or a small Toyota, and I sometimes try to avoid the holes in the road. But if you take the holes, if you don't change oil, if you don't change filters, if you don't drive it, if you don't let it cool down, if you don't let it get warm in the cold period, how that thing will remain at that stated level of incredible, best German, best whatever. Next video, not this, pause, this one.
So it's a very, very tight fit in there, even though it looks such a big vehicle. And that drivetrain has tremendous problems that come with it. Lots of mechanical failures, breakdowns.
Again, no copyrights for the video material in this section. We gave our regards to the Tank Museum, the Tiger Tank Family Tank Chats compilation. So no credentials for this content. We only look and comment a bit about some of his mentions.
Hard work to get at the actual engines and the electric motors to help try and repair them. And the other thing Porsche comes up with, he comes up with a longitudinal torsion bar suspension system. And that suspension system, in other words, instead of the torsion bars running across the vehicle from side to side with their twisting, that helps give a spring down. These bars are in pairs with pairs of wheels on the side, and it would take a brighter man than me to try and explain to you exactly how that type of torsion bar works, but it's complex and it fails a lot. That's one of the problems. The upside, if you take out the suspension system from being inside the hull, it means you've got slightly more room inside there. By bolting it on the outside, gives you more volume space inside for ammunition, engines, crew, etc. So all of these things together are pushed into production. They're made at something called the Nibelungenwerk outside in Austria, and the vehicles are completed in about May of 43. The last ones actually come off the production line. They make 90 of them all. They convert a few of the original hulls into what becomes recovery tanks without the casement on the rear there, just a front cab there so that they can drag the vehicles off the battlefield. And these vehicles are pushed out very quickly out to the Eastern Front to take part in the Battle of Kursk. This enormous tank next to me is the King Tiger tank, the Tiger II, Königstiger, sometimes called for the Allies, sometimes the Royal Tiger. And as you can see, it is an enormous beast. For many people, they consider this the ultimate development of German tanks in World War II. Now the Tiger, we've already discussed the Tiger program with our Tiger I tank chat. With the Tiger II, what we're looking at here is a vehicle that obviously comes after the Tiger I, but it's done with a desire from Hitler, and a desire of Hitler's is really an order that has to be carried out. His desire in early 1943 is to see the massive L-71 Rheinmetall gun, it's an 88mm gun, put onto a tank. And what happens about that is that he goes, as ever, to the Panzer Commission. There's discussions about this. They go out and they look at the two companies that have built the Tiger I and ask them if they can find a way of putting this new 88mm gun onto a Tiger chassis of some sort. So it's all part of this, what's called overall the Tiger program in the German military. So Porsche and Henschel are the two people who competed for the Tiger I. They compete again, in essence, for the Tiger II. Initially, Porsche's design, he's coming up with the same petrol-electric drive that he's been thinking about for his early submission for the Tiger I, that then goes into the Elephant vehicle.
Tiger
he
Porsche.
thinks that's the way to go. He looks at that, he puts out a prototype. He actually does two variations of prototypes, VK4502 brackets P, that means basically the Porsche variant. Now those vehicles are demonstrated in October of 1943. The prototypes of design work is shown to Hitler then. At the same time in the background, Henschel are looking at their designs. First of all, they suggest, why don't we just add some extra armour on the front of the Tiger I? Will that help do? That's not good enough. That won't actually meet the bill. So Porsche's design, it's exhibited. He has two variants of it, one with the turret at the front of the vehicle, one with the turret at the rear of the vehicle. One of the versions has the engine in the middle, one of the versions has the engine in the rear. So different ways of putting the combination of his petrol-electric drive together. The Henschel version, after they've suggested this initial extra bit of armour, they then come up with the idea of stretching the Tiger I hull. They used an angle front. They actually put the armour plate at about 50-degree angle, and they actually angle the rear in a similar manner to what's going on with the Panther design at that particular time. They make interleaved road wheels. These now actually are slightly different to what was done on the Tiger. They overlap, but they're not interleaved in between, so that it was easier to actually get access to some of the inner road wheels. They need to do that because, again, the weight of this vehicle is increasing all the time. You need that level of suspension to spread the weight over the wide tracks. They look at the track issue. Again, they're going to do what they've done with Tiger I. We have 80 centimetre wide tracks for cross-country work. We have 66 wide centimetre tracks for transportation. So again, the side skirts would come off, smaller tracks put on if we're going to transport that vehicle by rail, which is the usual way of moving big vehicles like this behind the lines, and they're taken as close as they can to railheads behind the battlefields before offloaded, the transportation tracks taken off and the wider tracks put back on. Now, Henschel's design wins. They're both exhibited in October of 43. Henschel gets the contract for the hulls. The Porsche design is considered still, when he's trying to push his petrol-electric design at this stage of the war, just as earlier on, the German military are very, very nervous about the use of too much copper, which his electric engines, in essence, are going to be needing on the motors there. So the copper's not going to be available, and they're worried about that, so they go for the Henschel design. It goes into production in December of 1943. An order is put in for 1,500 Tiger IIs. A couple are built just before Christmas of 1943. 3 prototypes are the first vehicles to come out of the Henschel works. And we're very lucky here at the Tank Museum because we've actually got the second prototype vehicle. That's V2. So we've got V1, V2 and V3 are the vehicles that are actually put as test vehicles. V2 was used as a test vehicle at Hausenbeck throughout the entire rest of the war. It was captured by the British. It was still being used for trials by the Germans, and we're lucky enough to have that vehicle here. Now, in December of 1943, Krupp have been asked, could they redesign the turret that they've originally come up with this new gun on? Now, Krupp, first of all, they don't like the idea of fitting a rival gun to their turret. So the Rheinmetall 88mm L71 gun, Krupp decides to redesign it. So they have a go at it themselves. It looks very similar. Its performance is exactly the same as a Rheinmetall gun, and that's the gun they fit actually to their turrets. Again, it's very important now to emphasize, Krupp designs the German tank turret.
As you can see, just to mention, the center of the gun is not on center of the turret. Here is a bigger plate, is offset, like we call. And just as I mentioned, in the game, with premium munition, of course, you can easily penetrate all this part here, of course, here. I showed you here, the belly, of course, the turret, and also in the commander place. So easy to penetrate compared to the Russian tank.
Turrets. Porsche, Henschel are designing for this competition the hulls. Very different things to think about, because the turret that is put on that Porsche design initially is often called by people the Porsche turret. Porsche had nothing to do with the design of that turret, and that's something that we've, in our Tiger display here, we've been trying to get across to people. So we perhaps, because it's erroneous really to call it a Porsche turret, it has nothing whatsoever to do with it. Krupp has the design process, and it has the contracts for designing the turrets for the Tiger II program. The German military asked them to redesign the turret because they don't like the shape of it, and also its production costs and the time it takes to make it, it's very complex. Now, when we look at that early version of the turret, it's got a curved front to it. That was considered a potential shot trap. Rounds coming in could actually be glanced underneath that curved frontature. And the other issue as well is the side of the turret has a bulge in it where the commander's cupola is. And that again caused much more trouble in its production process. So Krupp redesigns the turret to make it simpler to manufacture and to eliminate that shock trap.
Oh, so what they mean? To make it simpler to manufacture. So, as I said in the beginning, starting from cars, bicycles, motorcycles, chainsaw, pumps, telephones, cameras, any electronic. The German usually overcomplicate whatever they engineer, whatever they manufacture, and then in situation like this they step back.
That we often, or here at the Tank Museum, we're calling that the production turret. They've already built over 50 of the earlier model turrets, so they decide to use those first. They were thinking it might have gone on the Porsche design. They changed one or two small elements of it. They thickened the roof armour, and then they're actually issued to the first 50 Tiger IIs that Henschel actually makes. So that early type of turret you can see in some of the shots where the Tiger is used for the very first time in July of 1944 in the battles in Normandy. The production turret, narrower front, the gun is slightly offset to allow the optic scope to be fitted. It starts with a binocular optic scope, but then it goes on to a monocular optic scope. The gun we've mentioned, very powerful gun. Basically the difference between the L71 88mm and the Tiger I gun, the L56 gun, is the cartridge case is doubled in size. There's double the amount of propellant, and that means a very similar size round comes out the end of that barrel with an enormous amount of force behind it. And its actual velocity, it goes about, speed-wise, you're looking at about 1,000 meters a second. And that gun can take out most known Allied tanks at a range up to 3 kilometers. So that's a very, very impressive advantage this tank's going to have, being able to, if you've got that sort of distance to fire from, that's going to give you a huge advantage before any of the Allied tanks can start getting in range. So
in my case, of course, as I said, I played the German heavy line because this was the line my brother started. But after a while, when we developed Soviet heavy medium lines, medium German lines, for example, medium German, crap, destruction, incredible crap, impossible to play. I got angry hundreds of games with the medium Nazi, but with the medium Russian, incredible good. Incredible armor, incredible turret, the gun decent or good or almost as good as the German, Japanese, as later introduced, crap from whatever tier level, whatever line, medium, heavy, crap. But we have to take in the consideration that I researched about this. For the first argument, the military allowed tank manufacturers in Japan to use an X amount of money, which was that tiny compared to the Navy, because they are on one island. They don't need that much tanks. They needed ships and planes. So that's the most important. And secondly, they made those tanks just to barely, have an evolved system in tanks from one generation to another. Very slight improvement over each iteration. But the idea was actually to don't be that heavy like this monster here, because as this monster here collapsed with the bridges on Europe's bridges, the same problem with the Japan, and they put a very, very, very strict limit to around 25, 30 tons, something like this. So I think this is a very important mention.
Very powerful gun. The armour that Henschel puts on it, you've got 15 centimetres of armour at the front there, angled at 50 degrees. That is very, very thick for World War II terms. Thinner armour on the sides and on the rear. Turret front mantlet, again very thick, and they built this enormous cast mantlet round the gun to help protect it. That narrower frontage also means you've got much less of a target area to hit from frontal strikes. And there's a general consensus that pretty much no Tiger II was penetrated on its front armour during the course of the war.
In reality, in the game, this was paper. You can shoot wherever you wanted. Even in this position, you could penetrate the turret. So, like this, you have all the place to shoot. For you to avoid or for me to avoid some of the shots from the IS-3, I have to constantly try to sneak and to try to scam the other player for hopefully one miss shot, one winning shot if I manage to connect the rest of the shots.
Statistically, we think probably a discarding sabot round with a tungsten core from a 17-pounder could penetrate the front armour, but that engagement never took place. So that thick armour, that again was one of the things Hitler is influencing the design. He's insisting thicker armour on his tanks. Hitler's general view is every year he wants to see another generation of German tanks coming out that is going to leapfrog ahead and not allow the Russian or the Western Allies tanks to either catch up or overtake his own tanks in service. So very thick armour, very powerful gun. They still use the Maybach HL230 engine, the engine that's gone in the later Tiger I's and into the Panther. Those engines there, when you're looking at it with the Tiger II, basically it's powering a vehicle that is 20 tons heavier. So again, that sense of the available power to get what becomes about a 68-ton vehicle around the battlefield, again, there's that general consensus that really this is not a powerful enough engine. Transmission, again similar to Tiger I. The Tigers, as I've said, they go into action of July 44 for the first time. They're issued to heavy tank battalions, Schwerpanzerabteilungs, normally about 45 tanks per battalion. The first engagement takes place in Normandy with the 503rd Heavy Tank Battalion. This particular vehicle is serving with an SS battalion, Heavy Tank Battalion, in Normandy. It's being used by the 501st. They are in retreat. We think this particular vehicle, the crew member drives it into a field near Beauvais. We're not too sure whether or not that's when the final drive was damaged by the crew member, who may be inexperienced in it. We know there's an account that is claimed by a Sergeant Roberts of the 23rd Hussars. They're in the field. They fire at the vehicle. We can have a look at the battle damage in a moment. That vehicle, when it was firing at this vehicle, we think it's already abandoned by the Germans. And again, we're doing a little bit of research because we can't quite work out why the 23rd Hussars were in that part of Normandy at the time, according to their their war diary. So these things, again, peeling away the layers about why certain vehicles get certain stories associated with them. Sometimes we just have to make sure that they're not confused with something else, so more research to be done there. The vehicle is photographed in the field where it's captured, so we have those photographs in the collection, and ultimately it's recovered and brought back to the UK as part of a number of German tanks that have been brought back for analysis. And this particular Tiger with its 104 on, it ends up at the Teaching Academy at Shrivenham, where it was there for many, many years. Sadly, various inner components, engine, etc., were stripped from it over the years. It's in good outside condition. It's got a reproduction Zimmerit coat.
Alright, so this is with this video. One more mention from the previous video is I can't believe. Just I'll pause and I'll skip this moment. So in the same video, my error, I forgot, but exactly for what would be next in the same material, very important mention. let's hear what Mr. has to say.
Gun is the gun they actually want to use in the anti-tank role. This huge gun, 128 millimeters, normally it would have...
So they replaced the gun for the next version for the Jag Tiger, so no turret, just this anti-tank gun from 88 to 128. It's incredible, but of course it is heavy, so
some sort of barrel support on it. That gun in length is 7 meters from the end to the breech. That is a very long gun, 2 meters off the ground, very heavy as well. So as the vehicle's driving, the vibrations that go through the structure that's holding the gun in place, the mounting for it that is attached to the floor, that wear alone causes the gun to become inaccurate because you get wear and tear there. Hence they needed a gun lock to be able to put that, lock it into place. The gun is actually sighted through a periscopic system that goes through the roof. The commander would be sitting on the far side from me. He actually had donkey ears to look through the roof as a binocular type of scope, whereas on this side there'd be the actual aiming scope. And as I mentioned, this gun could be accurate out to about 3.5 kilometers away. Again, a great distance for a tank killing weapon. Inside, we've got a driver and a bow machine gunner on the far side there who would operate the radio. And again, as I've mentioned, the 2 loaders in the rear and a gunner who sits in the front using that scope that goes out through the roof. So Hitler, as I mentioned, he likes the idea of the Jag Tiger. In October of 1943, they show him a wooden mock-up out in East Prussia. It's demonstrated as this is what it will look like. It's not a running vehicle. And they then get to work. And Henschel, who have got the contract for the King Tiger program, by the following April of 1944, April the 20th, Hitler's birthday, they actually send 2 of the first completed Jag Tigers out to East Prussia, and again it's demonstrated. One of them is demonstrated for him. Now, part of that background, what they're really looking at here with that 128mm gun, and again around as you look at the whole vehicle, that's the important thing about it. In the tank hunting capability, 128mm, this is going to be able to destroy pretty much anything on the battlefield at that time. And this gun is so powerful, it could knock out any known Allied armour on the eastern or the western front out to about 3.5 kilometres away. It fires 2 main types of round. There's a armour-piercing ballistic cap round, and there's a high explosive round as well. And these rounds are now getting so big, the high explosive round alone weighs about 28 kilograms in weight. So they're now doing 2-part ammunition. So the round goes in first, and then it's followed by a cartridge with a propellant in. That cartridge, it's made of wound steel. Think of something like a poster tube or a toilet roll, steel wound, cemented together, lacquered, and that holds the cartridge. And they actually have at least 2 different charge sizes in the cartridge, depending on the distance the gun's going to be firing. Now they get to the point where they can put 38 of those rounds inside the Jag Tiger, but because of the weight of the rounds and they're getting so large, we now have the situation of an extra crew member. They have 2 loaders for the Jag Tiger, one to put the projectile in, one to follow up with that cartridge that's going to blast it out. So 128mm, great tank killing capabilities, will go through any known Allied tank out about 3.5 kilometres. That is the most phenomenal tank killing gun put on a tank in World War II. The problems, of course, of what we're looking at, what the Germans have, is then mounting that on a chassis that then comes in at 75 long tons. We've got all those problems we've seen with the other big heavy German tank program, things such as the Maybach HL 230p engine. You can get about, they pushed it to about 600 horsepower. It is still going to be underpowered for getting 75 tons around the place. And again, looking at, you can just about get 12 miles an hour out of this vehicle. Transmission, again, back to the same as a King Tiger, problems with the transmission systems. In February of 1945, engineers are sent out from the factories trying to find a way of rectifying the transmission problems that so many of the vehicles are having, and we'll talk about that as well in its service combat. But you're looking at really this sort of a vehicle, 200, 250 kilometres, something's gone wrong, as in a major transmission failure. And from that point of view, with a vehicle like this, to remove the transmission in the front, that means a removal of the main armament to get at it. So that's a major project there. It's not something they can do easily.
The same thing you can process with the Porsche car. So, alright, it's balanced, it's for more precision 911 car, so the Carrera. You have a rear mid-engine car which you access from below, so the chassis of course has some limitations, and even though it's a great car, when you test it, when you race it, when it's time to maintenance, maybe it's not hard. Alright, it's not hard, but it's not easy also. I will show because Mr. said something about ammunition.
At higher velocity, when an armor-piercing round is fired at an enemy tank, the hardened steel round penetrates the armor and pulls metal fragments or spall along with it. But at higher velocities, the round can shatter or ricochet off the sloped armor without penetrating it. To prevent this, a soft steel cap is added to the round, resulting in APC or armor-piercing capped rounds. Upon impact, the soft cap deforms, absorbing the shock, and it also helps penetrator to normalize with the sloped armor. But the wide shape of the soft cap increases air resistance, reducing the round's velocity. To fix this, a hollow hard steel cap was added on top. These enhanced APCBC or armor-piercing capped ballistic capped rounds are more aerodynamic. When it strikes the armor, the hard cap shatters. Then the soft cap deforms, reducing the impact shock, enabling the penetrator to punch through the armor effectively. Explosive filler with a base fuse are added to these rounds for extra impact.
So, in the real world, or in the just a game, of course, what you shoot can involve also some different ammunition, and just as a mention, as I said, in our battle in championships, of course you always use premium, so like you see here, more meticulous made ammunition. Of course, in reality these cost more. Maybe you use it right or use it wrong. What I'm referring to is next idea. So in reality you can also shoot
What you see here is an inflatable weapon
a
developed
balloon
in the UK during World War II.
with the proper ammunition, and you used it bad.
These weapons had no combat capabilities, but they played a significant role on the battlefield, causing considerable irritation to German troops. These weapons were made of rubber and weighed only a few dozen pounds. When not in use, they could be packed into small boxes. Operators used inflatable models of tanks, cars, and artillery, pumping them up with air and simulating the movement and sounds of the equipment to deceive and provoke the enemy. Their realistic design made them difficult to distinguish from the real thing, even with modern reconnaissance, not to mention the days of World War II, when there were no satellites. As a result, these inflatable weapons forced the Germans to waste a lot of ammunition, which greatly irritated them. They not only distracted the enemy, but also concealed the true positions and size of the Allied forces. Their low cost made them cost-effective, making them a practical solution. Right wow if you didn't know about such innovation.
So this is real funny. Americans being at least as smart and as the Nazi, with different tactics, but not based on a technical experiment, like in a game. You play with that, I play with this, let's make a simulation, everything works as the computer dictates. In reality, if the Germans say we have the best tank, it has that, but in reality is a piece of trash, or after few months of utilization, the barrel just doesn't have the same precision, the brothers across the ocean are even smarter and even tougher into the unconventional war, and they used balloons. Incredible. Let's skip to another video or two. I think we have some time for one or two. We will not finish today, but I think there will be one more part of similar length, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, something like this. As I see here, we have three hours and 7 minutes, which is something consistent, but I think at least 2 hours we will have more subjects. This is from HD Android Gaming. No, again, as in the previous materials, no copyrights for what we see. HD Android Gaming, what Blitz Face-Off Tiger versus IS-3. Blitz is the version of World of Tanks which you play on smartphone, and yeah, this is the version which you play on a smartphone. But apparently I played, there are some minor differences, not major. I'd like to say major differences come into consideration of the version of the game you played, because in the latest version you have Czechs tanks, which I played with, Swedish also tanks, which I played in my period, but for example, Italians tanks nowadays are into World of Tanks, but I didn't know the tanks, I don't know the dynamics. Maybe the same tanks, they improved the armor or decreased the armor, or this gun maybe they change a bit here, a bit there. I don't know. That's why I say the year when we observe it's more important than the version of the PC versus smartphone. Let me explain a bit. So exactly as for Tiger 2, if you shot here, more so with premium munition, you can see here, the one in the middle always is the premium, this is explosive, and this is the normal. I'm not sure what he uses, but with premium you can penetrate this like the cheese with a knife. The only difference, because I showed you the Tiger Doi, is in the turret. So for example, you can't penetrate here, you can't penetrate here, this tiny spot on the commander hatch you can penetrate, and the one and small and main thing I always took in consideration in my progress in this championship, of course, was this little hatch here, which is very hard to hit normally, or when you come with your tank nose to nose and you push one to in each other. More so if you dance with your tank and with your mouse to move your turret, or you place your gun into my gun when I try to shot to block the damage, then you can repair with some kit. Of course, he doesn't have here the kit to repair, but anyways, you can repair the gun, but don't take any damage. So to hit that tiny part here, it's incredibly tough. The IS-3 is also lower than the Tiger, and for example, me with the Tiger nose to nose, I can barely hit this small plate here, but the IS-3 nose to nose with me, he can almost shot me into the belly. Of course he can't, but he can have that much of a big target just to shoot. With premium ammunition, it doesn't even matter if I'm angled, but of course me as a Tiger player, I tried constantly to avoid and sneak a miss shot. Now you can see the Tiger shot first shot. This is 333 damage, 376 for IS-3. From what I can say you, the 375, it's a medium to small to low roll, but for Tiger 333 is medium or actually high roll. Tiger has 1700 HP, IS-3 1800. This is strange for me. I knew IS-3 had 1500 and Tiger 2 had 1600, if I'm not remember, 100 more, 1600 HP. Minor differences. Of course, in those battles you should know not just how fast you can reload, but how fast he can reload. The hesitations of actually even 1 or 2 seconds can make huge difference, because if you manage to connect your shot faster with 1 second, with half a second, you won. From 333 297 for Tiger 2. 373, the same. This anyway is for blitz, as I said, but even though it is important as a study case, in my experience, the IS-3 cleaned me up no problem. If we shoot like this, he cleaned me before I reloaded. In this blitz, it's reverse, so Tiger 2 has the advantage. high roll. Maybe for Tiger it's possible to shot 370 ish. $406, and for IS3 it's possible even more, for 30, something like this. 310. $295. This is exactly as I remember. 339 for IS3. And now he cleans the IS3. Further, we switch tanks. This is not accurate at all, as I showed you before. Of course, you have the commander's hatch. With the premium ammunition, you can no problem shoot and penetrate here if the gun barrel is just a bit twisted, turned into this direction, because as I said, you can try to manage a miss shot by some confusion in the battlefield. He then can penetrate even this plate with just some little angle of the direction of the gun. And from this entire area here, you can connect some shots. Very, very, very beautiful and very easy, no problem. As you can see, 430, I think you can even more than 430, and the Tiger 308. Нежен. 319, 371, 271, oh, 472. Man, with what she shot at this. Man, I never saw this thing. Man, incredible. Another thing you can take into the consideration in battle, but of course if you want to trade 291 for 34 from the beginning of the battle, when you meet and just proceed to close the gap and make contact, the Tiger do too, in my opinion and in my experience, and with my 5 skill on crew. This is something about different upgrades which you can do with experience and battle played on those men which are inside the tank. You can improve different things, and I actually improved when you hit another tank. With this tank being heavier, I dealt less damage than I produced to the enemy. So for example, even in this situation, if I'd lose 34 and he lose 200, at least from the beginning, that would be a bad decision, because you know, with low rolls I would be dead. So bad tactic. But as you can see, Tiger low rolled, and now IS3 has 19 against 34. So in the battle you also experience such things. Instead of Tiger 2 will usually win more because of better DPM, but if it has low rolls like last game, IS3 has little chance of winning the battle. Yeah, in my experience, yes, Tiger 2 had more DPM, but it wasn't that easy to win games. Oh, it has better DPM. You won. Different HP again. 1 500, 1 600. Sorry, 1 500, 1 600. In the Blitz, this is 1 700 against 1 800 or something like this. So I don't know this configuration of the game and the mechanics and the things is different. So the IS3, a noob, you can't miss that. Tiger 2 connected one, the second one, and Tiger 2 sleep, the IS3 sleep. He lose that 1 second, 2 second, 3 second crucial reloading time. So in a tournament battle you should lose exactly 0. And he miss, man. Holy. This one also hesitates, so this miss, but let's play with the it's 1 speed. So as you can see, 221 seconds, he should instantly adapted to shoot right there. He fall back and now he miss. On this rudimentary in second from second chronometer, you can see that at least easily 1 second was lost for also this noob, this Tiger 2. Low roll from IS3, only 304, which is a shame. And this one missed the shot. He shot the track and not dealing any damage. This is a joke. This is a joke. Joke. Purely joke. I can't say you would see this thing not even in the first or second match of any tournament. But let's be real, this is played with your smartphone, so much harder in my opinion. I tried it. It was for me really hard. So yeah, let's see more. As you can see here, he also ricochet, missed the shot, but it's very important to me to show you the situation when you are belly in belly. So this is exactly what you see. Very hard to connect this plate here, small plate. Of course, if you shot here, maybe it's not a penetration. If you shot here again, maybe not a penetration. So actually you should shot in the middle. Of course, if he turn the turret or put the gun up into my gun, of course you can miss, but you can't shoot here. No way you can shoot here. And as you can see, if you try to shoot into the commander's hatch, you can have big problem. Also, if you miss only one shot or only 1 second, how I showed you this Tiger 2 lost, is a big thing, unacceptable. Oh my god, this one missed, that one missed. What's this? A missing contest, and again miss, again low roll 293, a shame for IS-3. As you can see, he avoids the gun. He has now this much of a plate, which oh my god, which he loses another 1 second, and he shot in the gun. Oh my god, but with damage, incredible. He damaged in the gun. I don't remember this to be correct in normal World of Tanks. So as you can see, he can't shoot. Oh my god, IS-3, you again missed. How you can miss a Tiger 2? Connect with 246. Really low roll. This is just a joke. I can't take this too serious, but is a good representation. This 11 damage was from the contact. Again, miss. Each one miss, one shot. Incredible. How they can do this? I can't even conceive how they manage to miss that many shots. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let's switch tanks. I remember this joke of a game is actually very important. First round and second round also, so keep your breath and enjoy. Connect. So as you can see, the situation is different from this angle. You can shoot all this plate. Of course, now with normal ammunition you can't penetrate, but trust me, with APCR, so premium, in the tournament you can penetrate whatever you see here and here. So you only need to, you can also with the right click auto target, so you just click once the right, but only noobs make that mistake, or in this situation, and the target is auto set level, and you shoot much better than this noob. As you can see, even with normal ammunition, if you just slightly moved your gun, this now is very easy to penetrate. The Tiger 2 miss. Connect. No. Yeah, this is strange. Again, Blitz versus PC, different versions, update, that should be a penetration. The Tiger 2 again, 260, misses the hatch. A penetration, miss. Penetration. Miss. It's incredible, the play of misses. These are the ladies, the misses, the dance of the misses. Oh my god. And as you see, easily IS-3 destroyed the Tiger II. Not judging the actual battle and the HP of the IS-3, but usually in my age, of course, it was that easy, like in this example here, to destroy a Tiger II with an IS-3. Not only that you destroy the IS-3, but in average, you would expect to don't win by only one shot, but actually to have at least 2 shots left and still destroying that German incredible masterpiece of engineering. Uh, 7 versus 7. I didn't watch from here exactly to watch with you, so this is a show. I will not analyze that much, but just comment a bit. So let's see what the guys have here. Oh my god, 2 shots, nothing shot. Disaster. Oh my god. I bet my money on IS-3s. And I don't take my money back. I remain with IS-3s. But man, they play that bad. They don't connect anything. Oh, this one, no. No connection. No focus fire. Oh my god. Dude. This is just pure madness. Confusion at its home. You can see he can't connect the lower plates of the IS-3. So yeah, as you can see, easily IS-3s destroyed in a face contest the Tigers. Easily. Look how much HP they still have, and yet even though that be 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, there are 5 guns ready to shoot, and here no one to be shot. The German no, these are Italians. The German high technology engineering pinnacle. Which of course, as I said with the Americans and those balloons inflated, can be just a psychological and unconventional war tactic, but on the battlefield or in simulation they had big problems. And yet, like in the beginning of this long movie, if I wouldn't had any possibility to call my Japanese friends and to remain here, I think I would put my money into a German equipment to fight with a German and to adapt to German maintenance, German factory, German engineering, Germany, whatever. But in reality, in our history as Romanian, we also confronted the German power with nothing. So To play with Germans, I think it is actually uh, a dream. It is actually incredible to have that opportunity to play with this kind of equipment. But that Russian, man, in my opinion, with that gun, with that everything, if you let me, not what 1000 battles, how many I had with Tiger 2, if you let me 5000 battles, I'd sell that IS-3, and again I'll buy my Tiger 2, and I'll try my luck and my computational ability, either to fight with Tiger 2, either to learn T-32 American and to outmaster uh, Tankistul Florin, which was the best on T-32 American. Let's see more. Oh my god. No chance. I bet again on Russians. No chance, it's obvious. You can't. It's obvious. Oh my god. Kick this dude out of the team, man. This is not about tanks. Again. Uh, this one. Dude, what the fuck were you doing until now? This dude again. Full HP. Full HP. And this poor dude here, and this one, they're almost dead. And this one, look, this one hides here, this one hides here, this one hides here, and these two guys died here like hero at the Stalingrad. Oh my god. So beyond the tank, the players are really, really, really bad. Dead. This one in left also die soon. Dead. This dude trying to shoot the one with a lot of HP. Oh my god. Alright, he doesn't have another target, but anyways. Yeah. How can you... Sorry. They were encircled from the back by this sneaky dude, and they are eaten for the breakfast. How? Explain me. How can you name the German, no, these are Italians, the German technology and engineering good? This was not a privilege for me to play with Tiger Doi. This was a course which I had to just, keep going on and struggle. And yeah, I made whatever I could and even beyond. Not in the idea that I'm awesome or something like this. In the idea that this is the reality. Maybe you lost 3 hours and 41 minutes to maybe do something 1 hour in your future life, or from now on, with what you have those circumstances, let's say like this. So again, 2-7, incredible. Let's switch tanks. Oh my god, I put again my money on Russians. And I'm not a hater, I'm realistic. I'll make a joke about the observation. For a long time in our country, if you even have an idea of supporting the Russians, uh, you are the last one in our society. But looking about only this joke of a game, at only 3 hours 40 minutes, without even entering into the Porsche subject, it's very inappropriate from me, but let your mother be with the Germans. I'd much better be with the Russians. But I didn't enjoy being the Russians not even 1 second, so I had to go with the Germans, even though I hate Germans equally or even more. But that's their result, not mine. They do the things how they want, how they like. I like Japanese. This guy is a bit scared. With that much HP, he can just start a push. Also to cover that guy, also to block this higher position Tiger 2, which connect a lot of shots. Few seconds lost from this Tiger 2 until he shot. 2-3 seconds, which is a lot. And also the position is kamikaze, simply kamikaze. Maybe they had a chance if he remained in the back and covered this attack, but it's much more balanced of a fight this time. Yeah, I put my money on Russians and I won. You are with Russians! You are our enemy! How can you be with Russians? They're so low, yeah, but Germans are even lower. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Again, put my money on Russians. Oh my god! That Tiger is kamikaze. He just jumped in front of 3 IS-3s. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude, these guys are fighting or they are just... they're just kids playing. As you can see, Tiger 2 is in deep problem when they contact, when they are nose to nose. He's scary. He doesn't know where to shoot. He misses everything. So that's the idea which I had to encounter, and which is as everybody actually said, and it was a reality. Dude, you don't enter, never ever with a Tiger 2 into 1 versus 1, 7 versus 7, anything. You play only this IS-3. But in my clan, I couldn't, they didn't force me to play this junk. IS-3 is junk. But that Tiger is even junker. But that tank had at least a gun, which you can shoot. So at least if you can't connect, what's left? To just dodge the bullets and hope that the other one... yes, because that's the philosophy of the boxing. But if I can do that philosophy of the boxing with IS-3, why shouldn't I try with the Tiger 2? To don't receive shots, and if I connect one, I'm lucky. 7-0. I'm surprised IS-3 won pretty much every battle, because when looking at Tiger armor it can be really terrifying. Dude, this is now. On my period, this armor was paper. No one actually even considered to how much a fan of Tiger 2 you will be. You wouldn't be able to say something like this. But if you use gold ammo, it goes like through butter, exactly what I said. While the IS-3 turret is still hard to penetrate with gold, not with gold, you can penetrate only this little hatch here, even with premium armor. And when face bugging, so when you hug the tank, IS-3 is much smaller, so lower, what I mean. So Tiger 2 can only shoot your turret, not your turret. This little hatch here, you can shoot the turret because you have all this space here and the commander. So, but still more players rather take me out than you. Yeah. Hopefully for you it made sense to stay with me until now, and let's see more, because it goes only more interesting talking the same language. Yeah, let's jump to the... Four crew member against 5. Tiger have 5. I'm curious the name of the engine. Diesel, so is not V21S. So no Maybach, so no brand. Only a code, V21S diesel V12. Yeah, nice. I can't shoot with this thing, man. This is incredible piece of junk. I don't care if I have this good armor and blah blah. I can't shoot. I can't shoot. I can't see. Piece of junk. But the Germans manage somehow to be even lower than this. Sadly for the operator, the driver, the commander, which had to overcome all the challenges. And yeah, this was these are the reservoirs for extra range, but this was 5 kilometers faster, and from side, if you tried to shoot from just the smallest angle here, in the game, I mean, but in reality maybe in the same way, because this was a tank that never reached the battlefield. It was impossible to penetrate. It was mind-blowing annoying to shoot it even from the side. You usually had to hit it somewhere here, maybe engine fire, maybe around here, so with the track, but this area here was annoying. And yeah, this tank was around 5 kilometers per hour faster, and in our battle configuration of the team, most of the players at even the lowest performance level, mid performance level, and even in the best tournaments on the planet with the Koreans, which were incredible good, South Koreans, they all played IS-3. And at that level, of course, you understand you need to maximize, let's say, 4 turrets like this, and a Tiger 2, of course, was like an Achilles heel, which you could avoid so unnecessary. But at the mid level, inserting a Tiger 2, aka me, in the team, which was making sure to just connect all the shots for them, and arriving to the spot with 5 kilometers per hour slower. It was in a way or another a good compromise, accepted compromise at that mediocre medium level. Again, in the world tournaments, no Tiger, no, not even 1 in 5 players out of 7 or out of 10, or like this. This video is important for the next reason. I prepared everything for these comments. So now, because you understand tanks and my hypothesis about German, Russians, and different things, the compromise, advantage, disadvantage, let's read and comment from the beginning. Next comments. These comments right here you see are in the video I just played, but I watched it on my smartphone. As you can see, it's the same video, but I screen captured also in the previous video different moments, which I think I managed to describe. So basically, the early IS-3 was pretty much the same as the Tiger 2. Impressive firepower, amazing frontal armor on paper. Again, this is second mentioning of the paper. Third one, if we include mine, which was at the beginning not knowing this guy, and that one in the video mentioned on the paper, but it is logical. But the key word, or one of the key words of this long video, on paper, very important, because anything is on paper in today economy, and in that economy. And if today on paper the Ferrari is awesome, the Lamborghini is awesome, Porsche, awesome. Corvette, awesome. Maybe they're not that awesome with or without Japanese option. But the design is rushed, armor cracks easily, and the mechanical problems take it out more often than direct combat. The IS-3 was specifically designed to defeat the Tiger, the King Tiger. Sadly, it didn't get to see combat in World War II, but it was still present at the Berlin Victory Parade in 45. Fiat Panda versus Porsche Carrera, which is better, said the one dude down below 7 years ago. Fiat Panda, of course, because if your Porsche Carrera GT3 RS, let me show you, so you don't think I invent here. I wanted you to present also some bits from this Porsche and also from this guy, which managed 1 month ago to finally buy a Porsche, trading it for a Lamborghini. This Porsche Carrera GT3 RS 911 996, something like this, 9999. So of course Fiat Panda is better, because if Fiat Panda is not broken, or if you can repair it faster than a suspension for Porsche Carrera or whatever sensor which make your Porsche Carrera to stay in limp mode, of course Fiat Panda win. Also the Fiat Panda has a 4x4 version which off-road on different roads, except for Germany and Morocco. Anyways, you can imagine it is better. The King Tiger has good armor and great cannon, but is very slow, not that slow, and too big, not that big. Not good for camouflage. Who camouflage a heavy tank? You go and battle. The IS-3 has good armor too and has more power and speed. It's not has good cannon like the King Tiger, but it's not too big so it can camouflage easily. Again, not camouflage, and with that statement, it's not has good cannon like the King Tiger. Dude, the IS-3 don't have a cannon. That's not a cannon. That's a piece of trash. It's not a cannon. In my opinion, I think that IS-3 would be better tank if it ever met the Tiger 2 in combat. No one can say. Because the IS-3 had larger gun and it had the pike nose, and if the shell aimed right towards the pike nose, it would just bounce off, because pike nose made the armor at front much more thicker due to angling. So the only way for Tiger to defeat the IS-3 is to aim at its side, rear or lower plate at the front. And as I mentioned, if you put one to another nose to nose, you can't shoot anywhere in real life. So as in this simulation with Tiger 2 against King Tiger against IS-3, of course in reality the Russians would beat easily, I think. I can't say, but I think. Yeah, also the King Tiger has better optics and vision compared to the blind IS-3. The King Tiger also had better crew compartments, so its gun is superior in reload speed and accuracy. I give a King Tiger the edge over the IS-3. Let me present to you. This is also the thing I I considered not just for using Tiger 2 in a tournament, but at least you could see, you could aim, and you could shot, and the bullet go where you shot. So yeah, these are the advantages of the Tiger 2. But in my opinion, in my personal experience, I couldn't play with that IS-3. It was that bad for me. That precision was horrible. And coming back to the advantages of Tiger 2, so optics and gun, so you can see further faster and you can shoot faster and more precise. On Lakeville, let's find Lakeville in the maps of World of Tanks. I thought that Lakeville was already selected. Maybe I skipped. Lakeville. So this is Lakeville, this is a town here, this is a mountain, and this is water. You can cross on the edge of water. Here is a swamp. You can play medium tanks and tank destroyers. You can stay on the position and just shoot. Me starting on this position in the tournament with Tiger 2 against an IS-3 from here. He has better speed, better armor, I have better optics and better gun. So I considered to stay around here and try to see him and connect the first shot. He somehow came undetected by accident or by skill, I don't know. Of course, we waited a lot of time. Of course, there is a rule for each battle which says that you should attack or you should be somehow advantaged if on that specific game you are not required to attack and your enemy is required to attack. So in that battle I was one which was not forced to attack, and a lot of minutes passed by. From 15 minutes I think there was 1 minute or something until the end, very little, few seconds, 2 minutes, something like this. But the enemy, of course, he kill steal, the name. He waited exactly as me. He actually get angry for this match, for the next match, and for the rest of the life. And he was very, very mad that I didn't attack. But he didn't attack too. He waited 10, 12 minutes until we embraced each other and shot fire by one fire after another. And yeah, I will talk about this more. This is how the map look more realistically. Here are some white houses, and I hoped that if he comes on exterior I see and shot. If he comes on this path here, road, shot, here shot, here shot, here again shot. Incredible how he came undetected. I wasn't able to see and connect one shot. I lost my advantage. Of course, as I said, in that period, if we start the fight as we saw in the previous battle, so 3 to 1 go, and shoot into one of another without moving, without ricochet, without nothing. At that time, I was toasted. He was a winner. And yeah, what this guy guy said here, of course, that's the only acceptable thing into my tank. No armor, nothing. Compared to the blind IS-3, it has optics, and also gun is superior reload speed and accuracy. This one bet on Tiger 2. IS-3 couldn't even hit target over 800 meters, and Tiger 2 had higher penetration than IS-3. Of course, I would bet my money on Tiger 2 because I played with Tiger 2 because I couldn't play with IS-3, but other guys who could play with IS-3 in that way, shape or form, would be a real problem. And again, as I said, I don't think I could manage to perform with the T-32 against Tankistu Florin and actually move further into that tournament for a final. Third place, yeah, with this kill steal, with that little edge over him connected, yeah, I could step on the podium, but no, Tiger can't do that in reality. He, with over 800 meters, he says in real life, in hypothesis, and something like this. Which is better depend upon the crew and the dumb luck sometimes. Both have advantages and disadvantages. Very well said. This is really, really important in real life, in game, in whatever. Crew is very, very important. Maybe more important than the object. But of course, you can't, impossible to bring some miracles with not miracles. You can bring miracles, but the mother of the miracle you can't with an object which is not designed to be able to be the subject of that miracle. The comparison is dumb. The IS-3 outclasses the Tiger 2 in almost every aspect. Yes, if we don't talk about the gun. It was far more reliable, we don't know. He had better armor quality and was easier to fix, yes. The King Tiger suffered from interleaved road wheels, terrible reliability, and bad armor quality. Of course, even in reality or in the game. This is not fair comparison. The Tiger 2, the King Tiger should be compared to IS-2. Of course, yeah. Even if this is a hater, let's say, or my opponent, he's very right. All those people who told that IS-3 is better than Tiger, also they are right. But I'm also right to play Tiger 2, not because that's the best tank ever, but because the IS-3 was such a piece of junk. Good only to shot in and to miss and to connect into you 400 damage. King Tiger had higher rate of fire, roomier crew compartment, better optics and quick range finding techniques, better training. Bottom line, hit the other tank first, and on that King Tiger had the edge. Of course, that's what I said with my tactic in defense position. Hit that Mao marker first, hit that mother marker first, and yeah, but if you can't do that, you have big problem, big problem. Tiger had an edge, yeah, and the IS-3 had the middle. I can agree on how Tech had better roof, training and interior space, but aside from that it was terrible. Welcome to Stalin world. Read Gulag Archipelago from Solzhenitsyn. As I mentioned, if you want to find out how easy it was to get arrested and do 20 years for treason. Treasure an IS-3 on offensive is 145 means wear and tear. Weld pops, armor compromised 88 can defeat easily because the armor has weakened and the kinetic energy of the L-71 will break it open, not an issue. The IS-3 has to move if one on the offense, exactly like in my case with my map. He was on offense. Movement means wear, as that dude told you about the gun. So it get loosened, so it is less precise. Gearbox failing, engine mounts popping, hull flexing, mojo bad. The King Tiger on the defensive, as I was in 45, not in 45, in my tournament, it does not need to move as if on the attack. They could tow it to an ambush site if need be. The German had better optics and range finding. It can hit more accurately at longer ranges. Better ROF, I don't know, rate of fire, better trained crew, roomier interior. You do not understand tank tactics. The defender has the advantage if it can hit at longer range. The IS-3 on the offensive is moving and the hull is flexing. Weld point weakness, mechanical problems are multiplied. Under stress, the King Tiger is just sitting there, minimizes mechanical issues. So again, if you talk about my game, or if I'm talking about my game, that's what I had to say, but not in reality where you take in the consideration where gearbox, engine. If you just stay in a point and you wait to see and shoot fast, yeah, Tiger, that's my comment, even though that's not my comment. A very subjective but well balanced comment about that. But in reality, if you want to win a tournament, you have to think what your enemy think, and of course I thought, and let's see what our enemy has to say. And he says really good. So in the end, you decide to ignore the cons of the Tiger 2. Then I'm wondering why you are still criticizing the IS-3. The IS-3 did have engineering problems, but so did the Tiger 2. Very well said. The IS-3 have... The King Tiger had leaking seals and gasket, and the overborne drive train originally intended for a lighter vehicle. Its steering gear was also terrible and prone to failure. Also unbalanced structure, never heard of such problems. And welcome to the world of world tank production. Mechanical failure is the most ignored issue for all the tanks, I would add. If you check this on every other tank of World War II, then you will realize what this is about. Therefore, you were talking about reliability and you're stating that this is related to 88 penetration, the IS-3. Also, you are not bringing a fair comparison between these tanks. Of course, you're just giving the edge to the King Tiger and putting the IS-3 in a more difficult situation. Like in my experience in the tournament. We don't shoot like in that video to test the damage in laboratory. We are in a real situation with some rules. I was in the defensive position, let's say, and he had to attack. Unfair, yeah. But in a fair, let's see what he has to say. You're just giving the edge to the King Tiger and putting the IS-3 in a more difficult situation. The King Tiger was in defense. This is funny. Was in defensive since it is 1945. So what? This is about a fair comparison. Yeah, he's right. So in conclusion, the King Tiger can succeed nothing. It only designed for camping, of course, waiting and shooting in one place and just easily be abandoned once being used in long distances. Exactly. While the IS-3 is better, not better, suited for this role and can accomplish multiple roles that the King Tiger cannot do. No, they're both trash. Both pieces of junk. More accurately, the 122 gun was proven to be as accurate as the 88 even at 2 kilometers range. Shut up, man. I don't believe that. Therefore, we're talking about reliability and you're stating that this is related to 88 penetrating the IS-3. Also, you are not bringing a fair... I think I read this. Yeah. But it doesn't really matter since only 1-2 people succeeded on hitting a target at this range. Crew training, aka me, against the other enemy, each one with his tank, his training, his experience. He says crew training does not count since this is about the tank and not the crew. In that case, what if the German use the IS-3? Yes, me, I wouldn't use IS-3, even with training. I wouldn't use Tiger 2, but what to use? So yeah, crew is not important, the tank is important, but when you take in consideration you have this tank and you have that enemy with that tank, discussions are irrelevant, but your training becomes very, very relevant. You only put a King Tiger in the defense while the IS-3 is on offense. You never switch those roles for two. This is not about alternate history, this is about which is better tank. So by your logic, the King Tiger is just moving scrap metal that can only be stationary and can't be even sent to the battleship properly. This guy also, as that guy, is very, very right. He speak gold, he means business, and as the second guy is upset that the first guy put his tank in an advantaged position, just to be his tank better. uh, exactly like this was into this map, into this situation. And as I said, the enemy with the IS-3 Killsteel was very angry into this battle, after this battle, and for the rest of his life when he saw me in battles. And for sure, with his experience, he realized his position. For sure, he realized his position. But as I got angry of my own tank disadvantages and his advantages, the same way he was in an in a anger emotional state, um, because I was in advantage into that situation. This video I think I opened, but yeah, we didn't watch. It's long, not today. Here are some statistics about Tiger 2, IS-3 and T-32, like DPM, damage per minute, penetration, reload time. As you can see, Tiger and T-32 are almost the same, so they reload faster. Aiming time, very important. Below the weapon handling with black. Aiming time, which could be improved, but standard for standard, you can see how fast the T-32 aim, 2.21 seconds. Close enough Tiger, which, as I said, has no advantage other than a gun which we can see is not the best gun. T-32 has a very good gun, but the IS-3 with 3.26 seconds, this is crazy, impossible for me to play with that. Accuracy, check this one for the Tiger, 0.3. For the T-32 is lowest, 0.39. The IS-3 0.38. So even though the T-32 focused faster, or fast, let's say fast, the bullet wasn't going where where your target is, so where you place the marker. It goes far off, even more than the IS-3. Also dispersion when moving, so when you shoot from moving, Tiger has 0.18, the other two has 0.21. If I remember correctly, the Tiger rotated around his axis faster than IS-3. Turret traverse, yeah, for Tiger is a bit more. Tank traverse, no, it was actually slower. Yeah, I'm not sure on this, but anyways, the difference in this case are as small as for dispersion while moving. as you can see, the depression, actually the one who matters, is for Tiger 8 for IS3, which is lowest, not value here, which is lowest to the ground, which is smallest tank, the most aplatized, the most pancake out of all. It doesn't need that much gun depression, but the T-32 has 10. So 20% better than Tiger 2 with a better turret. It is no obvious thing. Tankistu Florin used it very, very effectively, and me also. I needed to adopt this tank for the maps where the battle was played, shooting each one's turrets, and of course with gun pointing down, so uphill. On another video, I think this video, which I said with review Tiger 2 review gameplay, another dude says great armor, a great gun, a masterpiece. Are you joking? 200 millimeters of penetration is more than enough to reliable pen the lower plate of any angle, and the turret also, and that's tier 7 gun standards plus the huge weak side armor. Enough said. The gun does 300 damage because it's not Russian. 60-65% of the time it low rolls. So as you saw, 290, 320 and other damages per shot, 65% were low shots, while the IS3 of course benefits for more high shots, maybe because the game I think is made or administered for from Russia. I'm not sure. Wargaming, let's see, Wargaming, company. In Belarus. Yeah, so it's basically Russia. So it's a Russian game, Russian company. So yeah, the Russian tank have more better roll, high roll. The IS-3 is superior because it's Russian and you don't have to aim. Just snap, shoot, and you always hit 400 plus. Of course, that's what I said, but that gun, man, it's... So you play like a no-brainer. Let me do the voice. And you don't have to aim, you just snap and shot and you always hit 400 and plus. No thanks, I can't. I refuse. And that overpower Russian defender tank with 300mm effective front armor at tier 8 is even more ridiculous with 450 alpha damage. Alpha damage maybe is the biggest damage you can hit. But hey, Russian game, Russian rules. And don't give me that BS. Oh, but the Germans are sniper. No, they're not. The Russian tanks are just as good. Accuracy mean nothing in World of Tanks. So, again, what could I say? To me, to be reasonable and to play in a tournament or whatever other battle, 1v1, 7v7, 10v10, impossible to deny what this guy says, but again, this is my result, and we didn't even talk about who Killsteel is, I would have had a big pleasure to also see the stats of Tankistul Florin, but I didn't find him anywhere. But I think I found Killsteel, which is an animal of a player, still playing today in 2025 after 10 years from that moment. So you can imagine that with these comments, with that guy as an opponent, and with my little funny Tiger 2 tank, what I managed to achieve. And it's not about me, it's about what you can achieve and what is your mission: to understand your enemy, to understand your advantage, disadvantage, and I don't know, to still try, to still play with enthusiasm, with desire, and with patience, because it's very important. Tiger 2 is the beast in real life, but not in World of Tanks. Tiger 2 is easy prey compared to IS-3. So again, people who say in real life Tiger 2 is a piece of crap, they're right. People who say that Tiger 2 in World of Tanks is crap, they're right. You saw 7 versus 7. All the games were lost by Tigers and won by IS-3. I put my money on Russians, even though I'm not pro-Russian. What can I say? They're right. Tiger 2 is junk. Everything made by Germans is junk. But Russians are below junk. But it's obvious that that even back then, and in the modern times, we don't know. It seemed that in some cases that below junk with snap and 400, like this guy really good said with that funny voice. Let's find the IS-3 is superior because it's Russian and you don't have to aim, you just snapshot and you always hit 400 plus. The Germans out-sabotage themselves, even though they could, like for example with the Tiger 2 turret, they could downgrade and redesign and rethink and apply the concept which says the less is more. They can't learn nothing, apparently, because I played with Germans, and if they had equality into that specific particular case, even though of course the Tiger 2 is crap, at least that had a good gun. So there's an advantage even today. If we say very well, in real life, Porsche Carrera GT 3 RS, crap. In game, crap. In whatever situation, crap. But at least if you manage to understand and to focus and to have experience with that and to have the right parameters, not with setting, with the road, with the weather, with the opponent to be at a beer and not paying attention, very good. Only in that scenario. The rest, this guy's main business. That's true. Tiger 2 is a beast in real life, but in World of Tanks, Tiger 2 is easy prey compared to IS-3. Tiger 2 is unusable recently with amount of premium ammo. Slow, with soft sides being penetrated with ease even with tier 7, so level 7 against level 8 premium shell. Gun is good, but there are far better ones. Low, Tiger 2 is one of the weakest heavies. I grinded it because I did German line in Blitz, but I'm very disappointed. So he did the German line in World of Tanks Blitz on the smartphone, but minor differences for the PC version. And again, in PC version, which is not reality, so as you see here on my funny screen, what this guy says is in real life Tiger 2 is a joke, and then this guy say in the not Blitz or even Blitz version of World of Tanks, so in a game, Tiger 2 again is the weakest heavy, so it's a piece of crap. What could you say more than that? You can't. We finished the first part. This is the team of my view. Difference between German, Russian, Chinese, American, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just a analysis of technology, of facts, of subjectivity, and the possibility for you, for me, for everyone to adapt to specific conditions. And more than that, I gave you a specific example, my tournament, not to just tell you you can adapt, but to prove you that I adapted in a situation which in both reality and in the game, Russian crushed the Germans, which such is on their fault or on Russian capability, and I don't know. First part is ended, has ended.